working and I have the bandwidth. I know it's kind of dark from my car, but I really want to speak to what it is really like to start a business after, I don't know, you could be 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, I don't care how old you are. I want to speak to the emotional part of what it is really like to start a business, let's say after the age of 48. And the thing is, it doesn't matter if you have purchased a business and you are improving something about it, you're saving a business or you're improving an existing business or product by a certain percentage, or maybe you bought a franchise or you're starting something all on your own. There is this element to the emotional component of this, which is really a very long conversation. But what I want to talk about today is when you do this, regardless of what the format is of the business or the foundation, and you can access strategy, you can hire people to do help with the systems, you can hire experts in a lot of different areas. And but there's always going to be this emotional component that is the challenge. And I had conversations today with two very, very, very seasoned and successful business owners. And it is always so illuminating to realize that the emotional component never goes away. It doesn't, there's always an aspect of starting over, at least in my experience and the people that I've spoken with. There's always an emotional component, mindset component. So, so I want to talk about starting over. Today, I just committed to a 30-day challenge in two areas of my life. One is business and one is my body. These are pretty audacious goals that I have, and it is an intense commitment for me emotionally and from a mindset perspective. And I think the challenge comes because when we are starting over, whether it's with like a fitness goal or something in your business, or you're going after a big goal that feels like you're starting anew, there's this excitement which comes from starting over, and you go into it and one is amazing, day two is amazing, and day three the energy can start to wane, and then you're holding on with the discipline and will and all of this kind of thing. But I think what happens is, or what I want to mention is, when we come into this and we have it's hard to come in really, really clean, because we have pre-existing notions from the pain or struggle or success or failure that we had before, specific expectations that come from our previous experience. So the only real difference that I see, and I work with women who are usually 50 years old or older when they're starting a business, and they could be coming out of corporate. They've never really fully bet on themselves in this way because it's a whole different ballgame, or they're building something from scratch, or they're opening a second location, but there's always some element of it being like a starting over event. And to be able to show up with the beginner's mind, the complete commitment to what's possible for that business, for that experiment, for that 30-day commitment or 30-day run or whatever it is, really requires a mental reset. And otherwise, you can't be all in. It's impossible because there's always this slight holding back. And what I've noticed is that even like the people I was talking to today, they've had so much success with specific application of strategy and operations, and now they are needing to look at a reinvention of what to apply that's going to work and be open to the possibility. So the ability to be open to what is really, really possible means you have to be able to completely commit and go in with all of that energy emotionally. And it can be really, really, really lonely because these conversations are normally had with ourselves, like at night in bed alone, um, or mulling over a second cup of coffee and just like, or a 10th cup of coffee or whatever. So I just encourage you to have people that you can really talk to earlier than later, not just about the strategy and all of that. It depends on where you are and how you're starting, and there's so many variables, but really so much clarity can come just from a conversation. And I witnessed that twice today, um, with a couple of people that I wasn't even, these were not paid coaching sessions. These were just longtime friends, and really, really interesting how similar the mindset is. So I don't know, I just wanted to talk about that. What is your experience with owning a beginner's mind and going all in when you're starting something again? Ideally, we would approach every day like that, right? It would just be like, I'm all in today and totally and fully committed, and committed to the limitless possibility rather than the tentative, re-experiencing again, like a rerun of what didn't work or kind of worked before. Okay, just wanted to share those thoughts. The of after 50 is that you might have encounter that every single day in the women I work with, and that's part of the incredible experience of working with women. I have an unstable internet connection, so don't allow yourself to waver in unstable emotional status. Talk to people about where you're at, or where you are, or where you want to